welcome to the next step in the Kinetic Typography course. Today we're going to learn how to add position animations like these. So the next thing we're going to do is actually what we can do is just duplicate scene 1. So select this composition and press Command D or Control D if you're using a PC. Double click to open it up, and I'm just going to delete this text that we created last time. Then I'm going to drag this audio to the left and make sure to extend it so we get the next section of the audio. So play through it just to make sure we have the whole thing. Whoops, I don't have enough. So I'm going to have to extend this composition by going up to Composition, Composition Settings. I'm just going to be safe and call this 5 seconds. I'm going to extend this a little bit more and extend our layer. And I can see this is really where it ends. So what I'll do is now close down our work area, go up to Composition, and trim Comp to Work Area. So the text or the voice says, and I am a video creator and motion graphics designer. So what we're going to do is just take our text tool and add all of that text. And again, just do the same thing. Select, duplicate. I am a video creator. I'm going to use the ampersands for the and there. And motion graphics designer. Thanks for being here with me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this one is just using my selection tool, just put these into place however I want it. So what I did was something like motion graphics designer over here. I did video creator over here. I did the and somewhere in the middle. And then and I am a, put these in order. So again, I'm just going to make sure that these are all aligned. So select and I am, I think I'm going dyslexic. And I am, oops, am a, just going to make sure that they're aligned with my align tab. They look aligned. I'm going to put them somewhere up in the middle. Make sure that the spacing is pretty even. Something like that. Video creator and motion graphic designer, I'm going to make the text a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to take both of these and align to center. So horizontal center, move it up like this. Same with motion graphics designer, horizontal center. And then I'm going to just play with the distance between these texts, something like this. And then the and sign, I'm just going to increase. Something like this. Okay, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 10 frames. I'm going to select all of my layers, all my text layers, press P on my keyboard, and hit this keyframe button, the stopwatch. So now all of these layers have a keyframe at 10 frames. I'm going to scrub back to 0 frames, deselect all the layers, and now I'm just going to move all of these layers off of the screen. What I'm going to do is zoom out a bit, so I'll zoom to like 33%. I'm going to just move these layers somewhere off screen. So I kind of like these top 4 flying in from above. I like video creator flying in from the side. And I'm holding shift down while I move these two so that it stays locked on this horizontal line. If I don't hold shift, you see that it kind of moves up and down. And I'm going to go from the bottom, and then with the motion graphics designer all the way over here on the right. So everything's off screen now. Now what I'm going to do is select all these keyframes like we did before and do a easy ease. What I can do instead of right clicking and going to keyframe assistant then easy ease is just hit F9 on my keyboard. And then I'm going to go to my graph editor. I'm going to change from value graph to speed graph, just to add a little pop to this. Zooming in, I'm going to select all these keyframes on the left, drag them over to the left, all these keyframes on the right, drag them over to the right. So it kind of gives it a pop. And you see they all pop on right there at the very beginning of this animation. I'm going to turn off my graph editor, zoom out. So that's all very fast. So now what we have to do is stagger them. So looking at this waveform and playing with it, I can say, and I am a. So A comes a little bit earlier. And I am video creator and motion graphics designer. Something like that. Then we play through it. So that's pretty good. Motion came out a little too late. I think IMA came out a little bit too late as well. So motion graphics still a little bit too late. And that's what all it is. It's playing around, tweaking with the speed of things, and seeing how it does. Okay, so this is really good. I'm going to zoom in back in to fit up to 100% so you can see better. So one thing, just a quick tip that I want to give you is what happens if you add all these keyframes and you want to move all of this text. And you don't want to go moving this text because say I move it down a little bit now, what happens if you press P on your keyboard is you have a new keyframe. And so it moves here and then there. Let me zoom back in. So I don't want to add another keyframe to any of these layers. What I can do is go to Layer, New, Null Object. This is basically a fake invisible object that we can use to edit other layers. If I select all of my text layers and go to this parent column and drop it down and say parent to null 3, or I take what this little twirly thing, it's called a pick whip, and drag it and drop it on null 3. What that is saying is that whatever happens to null 3 will happen to these layers. So now if I press scale for the null layer and increase the scale, I can do some cool stuff with it. I can also change the position. I can change the rotation, for example, and I can even animate this if I want to. So say I want to animate, so animate from 2 degrees to 0 degrees. That's kind of cool. Or I can do a quick little, when this and is coming up, I can do another sort of rotation, something like this. So this was, you got to play with this and add some more maybe scale animations and everything to this. So maybe this zooms in a little bit. I didn't do this on my original video, but I just want to show you how to do this. So pressing the scale and adding these keyframes, that's kind of cool too. So yeah, just playing around with it. You can add different things, and that's one way to add motion to an entire composition. So obviously this doesn't work because now Motion Graphics Designer comes off the screen, so we'll make sure that we don't go too big. Something like that. Okay, so that is a position animation. That's how you use the null object to change an entire composition. And that is our scene 2. In the next video, we'll be going over how to do rotation animations, including flips and all kinds of cool stuff. Talk to you later.